A lot of market activity around initial public offerings has been evident this year in what is being called a record year for IPOs. On Monday, Reuters reported the Nasdaq is set to eclipse its rival, the New York Stock Exchange, in initial public offerings this year. This comes as companies have raised record levels of capital through new stock flotations in the U.S. Well, joining us now to tell us more about what is behind this growing trend in new stock offerings is Brendan Caldwell, Director of Caldwell Securities Ltd. Brendan, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Glad to be here, Nima.
So what is driving this growth in new public offerings this year, Brendan?
A really strong stock market. Companies that are either private are becoming public, or companies that are already publicly owned raising additional capital, either for takeovers or other acquisitions, or just because they can. If the stock market's willing to pay you many multiples to your earnings or even to your sales, and it makes sense to the company to raise new capital at that rate, well, then if people are willing to give you the money, that's the best time to take it.
And I've also heard the term new issue being floated around in this space. So what exactly is a new issue, Brendan?
Well, a new issue of stock. So most stock that people buy when they think of the stock market is on the market itself. You're buying from somebody else who's a shareholder. You become a shareholder. You sell your stock. They become a shareholder, whoever you sell it to. But when a company issues stock from its treasury, from its store of capital, it has the effect of potentially diluting the number of shares because it increases the number of shares that are out there. So if you are a company that has 9 million shares outstanding and you issue 1 million from your treasury, there's now 10 million. And so your earnings and revenue is spread over a bigger pool. But if that million share issue can be done at a really high price, it might mean that the money that the company gets in makes it more robust and able to do certain things like acquisitions.
All right, Brendan, and why are new issues important to individual investors?
Well, it's particularly when it's a brand new company that's just being offered to the market, you have the opportunity to really get in on the ground floor, at least from a public market perspective. I can talk a little bit more about private and public perhaps another day. But the chance to get into a company that you've always wanted to own, but it's only been privately held to this point, whether it was Apple from 40 years ago, or Facebook from a decade ago, or some of the new issues that have happened this year, it gives you a chance to get on the ground floor. An existing company, when they issue stock, it's a chance to buy it at a bit of a discount. Normally, these new issues are done at a bit of a discount to the market price, maybe 5-6%. So you've always liked a stock. This is a chance to get in at a bit of a discount to what you would have paid the day before.
All right, Brendan. Well, I'm seeing a lot of similarities between new issues and initial public offerings. So what are the key differences between an IPO and new issues?
All right. Well, a new issue can be any stock, either existing company or a new company. So an IPO, or initial public offering, is a subset of that. So a company that was private then becomes public, was owned by a coterie of founders and venture capital firms, private equity firms, and then goes out to public ownership. That's an IPO. And they cause a lot of excitement because often the up-and-coming new technologies are the subject of IPOs. They've been private for a long time, as some developer and his company has built this software that everybody likes and everybody wants to use, and now the general public can have a chance to buy into it. So IPOs, particularly in a strong market like this one, do create a lot of excitement.
All right, Brendan, just about a minute left here, but what is your outlook for the markets when it comes to IPOs and new issues coming into the new year?
Well, I think as long as interest rates remain low, and that's the really determining factor, I think the market for new issues will continue to be strong. So whatever happens with coronavirus or this or that, those are temporary blips. Interest rates really are the determining factor. And my hope is that there are more public companies out there, because the more people can buy into the best and most interesting ideas in a market or an economy, then I think having a greater public participation in markets will both help make people wealthier, but add to a greater public participation in the economy. And I think that's a good thing for creating wealth for a broad group of the public.
All right, Brendan Caldwell, always great having you on Forum Daily. Thank you again for your time today.
Thank you, Nima.